Right now at 8, the man accused of shooting a CEO in Midtown Manhattan appears in a court in Pennsylvania. What we're learning about his background and the legal case. Law enforcement revealing more about what the alleged shooter used to avoid being tracked by police. Good evening, I'm Christine Johnson. First tonight here at 8, we're learning more about the man accused of shooting and killing an insurance CEO in Midtown last week. Luigi Mangione shouted at reporters as he walked into a Pennsylvania courtroom today. He is fighting extradition back to the city, setting up what could be a weeks-long process. The Pennsylvania Department of Corrections released Mangione's booking photos, and we're also getting a look at him inside the McDonald's where he was spotted. We have team coverage of the suspect and the search for a motive. Let's begin with Allie Bauman. She was in a Pennsylvania courtroom today as Mangione made his first appearance.
And it's completely out of touch, and it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
Handcuffed in an orange jumpsuit, Luigi Mangione struggles and shouts as he's led into the Pennsylvania courthouse Tuesday for his extradition hearing. Inside, his newly retained attorney contested the extradition to New York for a second-degree murder charge in the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan last week.
It was my opinion and my advice under the circumstances that he not, and I emphasize the not because apparently there's news reports already going out that he waived his extradition. He did not do that.
Pennsylvania has 30 days to get a warrant from Governor Kathy Hochul, who said this afternoon she's working with the Manhattan DA and will sign a warrant request to ensure he is tried and held accountable.
Contesting it, just provides more hoops for law enforcement and prosecutors to jump through, but we're happy to do that.
This new image from police body cam shows 26-year-old Mangione eating alone in the Altoona McDonald's Monday morning just before he was arrested. Police say in addition to the fake New Jersey ID consistent with what was used to check into the Manhattan hostel before the shooting, as well as a 3D printed ghost gun and suppressor consistent with the murder weapon, Mangione also had on him $8,000 in cash and some foreign currency along with his passport, as well as a 3-page handwritten document. Sources tell CBS News police are now referring to that document as a claim of responsibility and say it appears to be written in a similar mindset as that of the infamous Unabomber.
And he was sitting in the back, but I thought it was one of the employees.
Larry, a regular at this McDonald's, says he and his friends saw Mangione there yesterday morning.
The one guy said, "That looks like the shooter from New York." Well, then we laughed, and I guess he placed his order, and we just went on about our business. But we were kidding about it. They were like, "Oh, boy, wouldn't that be something?"
The judge denied Mangione's bail request, so he is still being held in custody here in Pennsylvania. Governor Hochul said that she is working with the Manhattan DA and will sign a request for a warrant to ensure that Mangione is, quote, tried and held accountable. From Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, Allie Bauman, CBS News, New York.
While there are still leads to follow up, investigators say they have a better picture of Mangione's alleged motives and methods. Political reporter Marcia Kramer sat down with top NYPD officials to discuss the investigation.
You can put your phone in there so we can track your phone. It doesn't transmit a signal. It blocks the signal. In essence, it's like if you wrapped your phone in aluminum foil and put it in a bag.
Chief of Detectives Joe Kenny and Rebecca Weiner, the Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence and Counterterrorism, talking about the arrest of Luigi Mangione, the things cops found that will play into the case, including a false ID and the Faraday case. It's a case where they say he'll be charged with murder one in the shooting death of healthcare executive Brian Thompson. There are things they know and things they are still working through, including the motive. They think it has in part something to do with an injury Mangione suffered.
That he possibly did suffer an accident that caused him to visit the emergency room back in July 4th of 2023.
Officials say that the handwritten document that was recovered in his backpack by Altoona police also made it clear that he was furious at the healthcare industry.
When you start using rhetoric like these parasites had it coming, you are referencing an anti-corporatist mentality that goes beyond an individual grievance toward a particular injury he may have suffered.
And then there is his apparent fixation with the Unabomber. They found an online review of his book that Mangione did, which they say sets out.
In his view, violence can be justified to right social wrongs. So this was an endorsement of Ted Kaczynski and his book.
So do you think that he felt that he was justified in, quote, what you said, righting the wrongs?
I mean, that is going to be a big subject of inquiry for the detectives.
Officials say they were able to act quickly to identify him as the shooter through a lot of forensic evidence.
We have DNA, we have fingerprints. That's all still being processed.
Were there any fingerprints on the bullets?
No fingerprints on the bullets at this time, but we did have one fingerprint on the cell phone that was recovered.
And as for the murder weapon, officials say he apparently ordered a receiver, the bottom part of a ghost gun, from an online site and may have had it delivered to his home in San Francisco. They say he made the rest of the gun with a 3D printer. The silencer was homemade as well. The 2.5-page document was handwritten, which authorities say will also help them tie him to the crime. I'm Marcia Kramer, CBS News, New York.
As more details develop, stay with CBS News New York for the latest on the investigation and the suspected shooter. We'll bring you every update here on the air and on our website, cbsnewyork.com.